Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is VC Pramod with the evening news. The headlines. Election Commission team led by CEC Sushil Chandra reviews assembly poll preparedness with Uttar Pradesh state officials in Lucknow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees in Uttarakhand tomorrow. Prime Minister to release 10th installment of PM Kisan on the 1st of January, more than 20,000 crore rupees to be transferred in accounts of over 10 crore beneficiary farmers. More than 143 crore 25 lakh vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 98.4%. Atal Innovation Mission and Niti Aayog released the second edition of Compendia on Innovations for You and the Ingenious Tinkerers. In Jharkhand, state government announces relief of 25 rupees per litre on petrol prices for two-wheeler owners from lower and middle income group. India welcomes Egypt as fourth member of Brics new development bank. Met Department forecasts intense cold wave conditions across northwest India for next 2 days. And in cricket, India set a victory target of 305 runs for South Africa in Centurion Test. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause for concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. The Election Commission team led by Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra today held a meeting with senior officials of the state administration and expenditure officials in Lucknow to take stock of the preparedness for Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections. The team, which reached Lucknow yesterday for a 3-day visit, the team will have discussions with DGP and Chief Secretary of the State tomorrow and later in the evening brief media about the outcome of the meetings. The ECI team yesterday interacted with the representatives of various political parties. Poll campaign is intensifying day by day in the state, which has 403 assembly seats. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Haldwani in Uttarakhand tomorrow. Mr. Modi will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees. Among the 23 projects, foundation stone will be laid for 17 projects worth over 14,100 crore rupees. These projects cover a wide array of sectors and areas across the state, including irrigation, road, housing, health infrastructure, industry, sanitation and drinking water supply. The program will witness inauguration of 6 projects, including multiple road widening projects, a hydropower project in Pithoragarh, and projects to improve sewerage network in Nainital. The cumulative cost of the projects being inaugurated is over 3,400 crore rupees. Mr. Modi will lay the foundation stone of the Lakwar multipurpose project to be built at the cost of about 5,750 crore rupees. This project of national importance will enable irrigation of about 34,000 hectare additional land, produce 300 megawatts hydropower and supply drinking water to the 6 states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Delhi, Himachal Pradesh and Rajasthan. The projects whose foundation stones would be laid include 4-laning of 85-km Moradabad-Kashipur road to be built at a cost of over 4,000 crore rupees and 2-laning of 22-km stretch of Gadarpur-Dineshpur-Matkota-Haldwani road and 18-km stretch of Kicha to Pantnagar. The foundation stones of multiple road projects all across the state under the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana would also be laid by the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release the 10th installment of financial benefit under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme on the 1st of January through video conferencing. More than 20,000 crore rupees will be transferred to more than 10 crore beneficiaries. Under the PM Kisan scheme, financial benefit of 6,000 rupees per year is provided to the eligible family of farmer. Prime Minister will also release equity grant of more than 14 crore rupees to about 351 farmer producer organizations, which will benefit more than 1,24,000 farmers. More than 143 crore 25 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. India's active caseload currently stands around 77,000. Active cases account for less than 1% of total cases. The recovery rate is currently at 98.4%. Over 7,300 recoveries have taken the total recoveries to over 3 crore 42 lakh. A total of 7,347 new cases have been reported in the last 24 hours. Over 67 crore 52 lakh total tests have been conducted so far.
781 cases of Omicron have been reported in the country so far. Out of the total Omicron cases, Delhi has reported 238 cases, followed by Maharashtra with 167, Gujarat 73 and Kerala 65 cases. The Union Health Ministry said till now 241 people have recovered from the infection. Amid rapid rise in the cases of COVID-19 and its newfound variant Omicron in several states in the past few weeks, the state governments have brought back preventive measures to stem a possible spike of the pandemic. In Delhi, night curfew has been imposed by the state government from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. after yellow alert was sounded under Graded Response Action Plan (GRAP) with immediate effect. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath issued orders to initiate strict measures, including a statewide night curfew from the 25th of December. The night curfew is applicable from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. The Madhya Pradesh government too imposed a night curfew in the state from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. till further orders. The Karnataka government also decided to impose a night curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. till the 6th of January. Haryana government also adopted measures to contain the spread of the pandemic and imposed night curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. In Uttarakhand, night curfew came into effect on Monday night and will remain in force from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. till further orders. Night curfew in Kerala will be imposed from the 30th of December and will continue till the 2nd of January. Assam will also see late night restrictions on movement of people from 11:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. till further orders.
In Rajasthan, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot held an open meeting with the members of the Council of Ministers this evening in view of the increasing cases of COVID. Expert doctors and senior officials gave their views in the meeting regarding the COVID situation. Health Secretary Vaibhav Galaria informed that there has been a threefold increase in the COVID cases in the state in a week, but the infected people are not yet experiencing serious illness. We have this report.
131 new cases have been reported in the state in the last 24 hours, while the number of active patients has gone up to 537. There are active patients of COVID in 21 districts, out of which more than 60% are in Jaipur alone. Along with COVID, 23 new cases of Omicron variant have also been found in the state today. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
Another indigenous COVID-19 vaccine, Corbevax, has received the Drug Controller General of India's approval for emergency use authorization. Corbevax is developed by Biological E Limited, which is India's first indigenously developed receptor-binding domain protein subunit vaccine for COVID-19.
The United States and several European countries have reported their highest daily rises in COVID cases since the pandemic began as the Omicron variant spreads. More than 440,000 new cases were recorded in the US on Monday, health officials said. France, Italy, Greece, Portugal and England have also reported record numbers of daily infections. Officials said the high figures could be due in part to reporting delays over the Christmas period. In our bilingual live phone-in program Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Rupali Malik of Safdarjung Hospital, New Delhi will be with us today to answer queries related to coronavirus. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on telephone number 011-2342-1230 and 011-2342-1764. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards.
National Commission for Minorities, NCM, has taken suo-moto cognizance of attacks on churches in different parts of the country and will be sending teams to inquire into the matter as well as call for a report from concerned authorities. NCM Chairman Iqbal Singh Lalpura condemned attacks on churches in the meeting of the Commission held in New Delhi today. He said appropriate action will be taken by the Commission accordingly. Mr. Lalpura also proposed to visit the site in Ambala where the church was vandalized. Enforcement Directorate ED officials today submitted a charge sheet against former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh in a money laundering case. The ED is probing allegations against Deshmukh that he had allegedly asked former Assistant Police Inspector Sachin Vaze to extort 100 crore rupees a month from bars and restaurants across Mumbai. ED officials found that 4.7 crore rupees were handed over by the dismissed API after extorting bars and restaurants in Mumbai. Deshmukh was arrested by ED on the 2nd of November and he remains in judicial custody at the Arthur Road prison in Mumbai.
The Court of Enquiry constituted by the Indian Army to investigate the Mon incident of December the 4th visited the site at Oting village today. According to a release from Public Relations Officer Defence in Kohima, the inquiry team, headed by a senior rank officer, a Major General, inspected the site to understand the circumstances in which the incident could have happened. The team also took along the witnesses for better understanding of the situation and how events have unfolded. Subsequently, the team was also present at Tizit Police Station, Mon, to meet a cross-section of the society, including civilians, police personnel and doctors who treated the injured, for obtaining valuable information pertaining to the incident. Meanwhile, the Nagaland government has constituted a special investigation team to probe the incident in which 13 civilians lost their lives.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Election Commission team led by CEC Sushil Chandra reviews assembly poll preparedness in Uttar Pradesh state officials in Lucknow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees in Uttarakhand tomorrow. Prime Minister to release 10th installment of PM Kisan on the 1st of January. More than 20,000 crore rupees to be transferred in accounts of over 10 crore beneficiary farmers. More than 143 crore 25 lakh vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 98.4%. Atal Innovation Mission and Niti Aayog released the second edition of Compendia on Innovations for You and the Ingenious Tinkerers. In Jharkhand, state government announces a relief of 25 rupees per litre on petrol prices for two-wheeler owners from lower and middle income group. India welcomes Egypt as fourth member of Brics New Development Bank. Met Department forecasts intense cold wave conditions across northwest India for the next 2 days. And in cricket, India set a victory target of 305 runs for South Africa in the Centurion Test. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The News Services Division of All India Radio presents 2021, the year that was. Let us take a look at the notable events and developments in the year. From politics to sports, business to global affairs, what made headlines in the year gone by? To know more, join us on 30th December on FM Gold channel 100.1 MHz and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.nic.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. Welcome back to the evening news. Atal Innovation Mission and Niti Aayog today released the second edition of Innovations for You and the Ingenious Tinkerers. Innovations for You is a compendium of innovations focused on agriculture featuring 70 startups supported by Atal Incubation Centers of Atal Innovation Mission. The Ingenious Tinkerers is a compendium on the innovations on technology featuring 41 innovations from Atal Tinkering Lab. As the nation celebrates Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, both the books feature the success stories of young innovators of the country. Niti Aayog is organizing a day-long national workshop on bamboo development tomorrow. Several stakeholders from India and abroad will attend the workshop to understand the opportunities and challenges in the bamboo sector. Niti Aayog is in the process of formulating pragmatic policies and technologies for the holistic development of the Indian bamboo industry.
Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh today formally released Science Monthly magazine in Hindi, Urdu and English. He announced that Dogri, Kashmiri and other vernacular editions of the monthly science magazine will be released very soon. Dr. Singh said that Hindi and English versions are based on the theme Dream 2047, referring to the 100 years of India's independence. In Jharkhand, Chief Minister Hemant Soren today announced a relief of 25 rupees per litre on petrol prices for two-wheeler owners coming from the lower and middle income group. The beneficiaries will start getting benefits of waiver in petrol prices from 26th of January next year.
हमने ये निर्णय लिया है पेट्रोल पर गरीब मजदूर मध्यवर्गीय लोग इनको अब 25 रुपया प्रति लीटर राहत देने का घोषणा आज इस मंच से की जाती है.
Mr. Soren was addressing a public gathering in a function organized at Morhabadi grounds in Ranchi on the occasion of the second anniversary of the state government. Chief Minister Hemant Soren laid foundation stone of several projects. Mr. Soren also distributed assets among the beneficiaries worth 1,500 crore rupees.
In Spotlight tonight, AIR News will broadcast an exclusive interview of Union Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.nic.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. India has welcomed Egypt as the fourth new member of Brics New Development Bank. The External Affairs Ministry spokesman Arindam Bagchi said Bangladesh, UAE and Uruguay joined in September this year. Mr. Bagchi said membership expansion enables New Development Bank into position itself as a premier development institution for emerging economies.
At the stock markets, key indices snapped 2 days of gains to end slightly lower today, while the rupee weakened against the dollar. A report from the business world.
At the stock markets, the Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange fell 91 points to end at 57,806 today in a thin trade. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange shed 20 points to 17,214. At the Forex market, rupee weakened 8 paise against the dollar at 74.73. Gold fell 216 rupees to 47,010 rupees per 10 grams at the Delhi's bullion market. And in the international market, the Brent crude oil futures gained 26 cents to trade at $79.20 a barrel. Nishit Kumar for AIR News.
This is All India Radio giving you the news.
जिस प्रदेश में हर नियुक्ति 2017 के पहले विवादित होती थी, प्रदेश के नौजवानों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ होता था, 2017 के बाद 4.5 लाख नियुक्तियां हुई, कोई विवाद नहीं, न भाई भतीजावाद, न क्षेत्रवाद, न जातिवाद।
हमारे नए उत्तर प्रदेश में बिना जातिवाद, बिना भेदभाव युवाओं को मिल रहा रोजगार है, इसीलिए फर्क साफ है। 2017 से पहले कर्ज के बोझ तले दबा था किसान, 2017 के बाद कर्ज माफी से हुआ है खुशहाल, फर्क साफ है। 2017 से पहले रंगदारी के कारण करना पड़ता था पलायन, 2017 के बाद सुरक्षित माहौल में हो रही घर वापसी, फर्क साफ है।
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
Janani, Janani, Janma Bhumisha, Janma Bhumisha, Surgadapi, Surgadapi, Gariyati,
In today's episode, we remember one of the earliest moderate leaders, Umesh Chandra Banerjee, who was born on December the 29th, 1844. He was the co-founder and the first president of the Indian National Congress.
Banerjee won a government scholarship to study law in England and was called to the bar in June 1867. In England, he founded the London Indian Society and advocated representative and responsible government in India. He returned to Calcutta in 1868 and, within a few years, became the most sought-after barrister in the High Court.
In 1883, he defended Surendranath Banerjee in contempt of court case against him in the Calcutta High Court. Umesh presided over the first session of Congress in 1885. In the 1886 session held at Calcutta, under the presidency of Dadabhai Naoroji, he proposed the formation of standing committees of the Congress in each province for better coordination of its work, and it was on this occasion that he advocated that the Congress should confine its activities to political matters only, leaving the question of social reforms to other organizations.
He was the president of the Indian National Congress again in the 1892 session in Allahabad. We pay tribute to this great leader.
We also remember revolutionary freedom fighter Bhupendra Kumar Datta, who died on the 29th of December 1979. A prominent Jugantar leader, he went on a hunger strike for 78 days in Bilaspur jail in December 1917, which was till that time the longest ever period of hunger strike in any country.
Born on the 8th of October 1892 in the village Thakurpur in Jessore, now in Bangladesh, Datta got inspired by the anti-partition agitations of the Anushilan Samiti and joined the organization. In September 1915, after the death of Bagha Jatin, massive repression and imprisonment prevailed in India.
Bhupendra Kumar Datta was arrested on the 17th of May 1917. In jail, Jiten Lahiri and Bhupendra Kumar Datta went on a protest against the imprisonment of freedom fighters without habeas corpus and against the physical and moral torture meted out inside the prisons. They published an 8-page long appeal which was sent across to many important personalities to inform the country about the decision of a hunger strike.
Bhupen was later transferred to Bilaspur jail, where he continued his hunger strike for 78 days. He was released in 1920.
Arrested again on the 23rd of September 1923, Bhupen was deported to Mandalay in Burma, where Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was also imprisoned soon after. Netaji presented him the book Memories of a Revolutionist that he had smuggled for Bhupen during his last trip to Europe.
After his release in 1928, Bhupen resumed his usual multifarious role of maintaining contacts with various Jugantar leaders, editing the journals, collecting arms and distributing them. He was jailed again for 8 years in 1930 for sheltering the absconding revolutionaries of the Chittagong Armory raid. He edited the weekly newspaper Forward and was again detained in 1941 for 5 years.
Bhupen stayed back in East Pakistan after partition to rescue victims of communal riots and was even elected Member of Parliament. He supported a motion to make Bengali the official language of Pakistan in the Pakistan Constituent Assembly in 1948.
Bhupen came back to India in 1962 and devoted his time to the nation. We salute the great freedom fighter.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago. In the first cricket test, India have set a victory target of 305 runs for South Africa at Super Sport Park in Centurion. India were all out at 174 in their second innings in the second session on day 4 of the game today. For the hosts, Kagiso Rabada and Marco Jansen claimed 4 wickets each, while Lungi Ngidi bagged remaining 2 wickets. Chasing the target, South Africa was 72 for 2 in their second innings when reports last came in.
News just in, India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 143 crore 75 lakh mark today. The Union Health Ministry said more than 57 lakh COVID vaccine doses were administered today. The Indian Meteorological Department IMD has warned that the cold wave conditions are likely to prevail in some states of North India till the end of this week. Minimum temperatures are likely to drop by 2 degrees centigrade to 4 degrees centigrade from Wednesday over most parts of northwest India, following a wet spell for the next 2 days. According to IMD predictions, instant cold wave conditions are likely to prevail over Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh from December the 31st to January the 2nd. Cold wave conditions are also expected in northern Rajasthan on January the 1st and 2nd. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will have moderate fog. Minimum temperature will be 6 degrees Celsius while maximum will be around 21 degrees. In Mumbai, minimum temperature will be 19 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 30 degrees. City is expected to have mainly clear sky. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will vary between 23 and 30 degrees. Kolkata will have moderate fog. City will observe a minimum temperature of 16 degrees Celsius, a maximum of around 25. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will hover between -3 and 9 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature will be 5 degrees, maximum around 21. Leh is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. Minimum and maximum temperature will hover between -15 and -1 degree Celsius. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between -7 and 10 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have cloudy sky. Minimum temperature will be 3 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 14. Now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Election Commission team led by CEC Sushil Chandra reviews assembly poll preparedness with Uttar Pradesh state officials in Lucknow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees in Uttarakhand tomorrow. Prime Minister to release 10th installment of PM Kisan on the 1st of January, more than 20,000 crore rupees to be transferred in accounts of over 10 crore beneficiary farmers. More than 143 crore 75 lakh vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 98.4%. Atal Innovation Mission and Niti Aayog released the second edition of Compendia on Innovations for You and the Ingenious Tinkerers. In Jharkhand, state government announces relief of 25 rupees per litre on petrol prices for two-wheeler owners from lower and middle income group. India welcomes Egypt as fourth member of Brics New Development Bank. Met Department forecasts intense cold wave conditions across northwest India for next 2 days. In cricket, India set a victory target of 305 runs for South Africa in Centurion Test. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.